Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
From Cafeteria Film Studios in Little Havana, Phresh presents Que Bola, where we talk to various movers and hustlers who are popping off and succeeding in the 305 and at the same time influencing the culture. I'm your boy D Fig. Holla at your boy when you see me in the street. Ew. Hey, what's good? I hope y'all feeling right, enjoying yourselves. I know it's been a rainy couple of days out here in South Florida, but we still living it up. In this week's episode, we sat down with a talented music producer / musician / creative director, Golden Flora. Golden Flora is part of the Strange Bass Media crew. Shout out to Strange Bass. That's my peoples right there. So Golden Flora, he is an indie musician, producer who you'll be able to see perform his live sets throughout South Florida. I recently saw him at Las Rosas. Shout out Las Rosas, one of the best venues out there bringing live music. He just recently dropped his longest EP, and we decided to chop it up with him and talk to him about what that process was like and what it's like to be a musician here in South Florida. I hope you guys like this, and let's get into it, all right? Listo.
Okay.
All right,
so we're in another episode of the Que Bola podcast. Holla at your boy when you see me in the street. Hey, how y'all doing? I hope everybody's wonderful at whatever time of the day they're listening to this or enjoying this particular podcast, all right? In the studio, we have our special guest, Monsieur Jesus, a.k.a. Golden Flora. How you doing, man?
Thank you for having me. I'm good. I'm really excited for being here today.
Thank you for coming into the podcast.
Thanks, man.
So I have come into contact with Jesus, Mr. Golden Flora, through Strange Bass Media. Strange Bass Media, shout out Strange Bass Media. Boop, boop, boop,
Those are the boys.
Boop, boop, boop. Those are the boys. That's the clan right there.
Yeah.
That's the gang.
For real,
Strange Bass is one of the dopest, if not the dopest crews out here in South Florida putting on for bass music and just music in general. And the underground scene in South Florida heavy, and working in various aspects. And you're part of the crew.
Yeah. Thanks. It's so humbling.
You're part of the crew, and that's how I came into contact with you.
Yeah. We met through the different shows that we kept having. All thanks to Limbot.
Yeah, shout out Limbot, a.k.a.
He's doing it.
The man who's doing it. He's doing it.
He's doing all of it, man.
Yeah. So you guys, how did you come into contact with Limbot, and how did you get into that scene?
Well, he had a little party in Churchill's that it was just showing old movies and playing chill music and stuff like that. And I was with a friend of mine. We were day drinking at Sweat Records.
Ooh, day drinking. That's what's up,
So we were looking at a bunch of records just like lit. And my friend was like, hey, we should go to Churchill's. Maybe they have something going on. And we said, hey, yeah.
Fuck it.
And we walk around, and then everything was meh until we go inside the little room.
Yeah.
And Limo was just there playing.
Mm-hmm.
And we just sat down on the couch, and we were looking at the movie, and I was like, oh, I know that artist. Oh, I know that guy too. Oh, okay. Hey, man, your taste is pretty good.
That's crazy, right? How you when you start liking other people's taste, you like other people's taste and your taste kind of like seem that you're in the same vibe, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's almost like I see you. And then like you tell them, hey, good taste. And they're like, I see you.
I see you. You got good taste, I like finding people who have the same taste that I do, because it's like I'm a weird dude, you know what I'm saying? So like I have my little little different things that I like here and there, you know what I'm saying? That are like off the wall, like crazy shit. So when I see other people doing the same shit or like liking the same type of shit, I'm like, I see you, dog. Like you're kind of like my tribe. You're like
exactly.
my people.
That you're like, oh, I can probably vibe with you, man. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I could vibe with you. Like we could definitely go on a 3-day weekend together.
Hey, man. Lemo keeps saying, yo, we got to tour. We got a tour.
We got a tour.
I'm here like, all right. Let me know. Another bucket list item.
So Golden, tell me about how'd you start in the music scene? How'd you start doing music that you're like, you have a very crazy type of production, like when you're on stage.
Thanks.
I like it.
It's a compliment.
It's definitely a compliment. It's crazy as fuck, like how you you're DJing while you're also playing. You're playing it live with different things, and you're also playing your bass guitar.
Yeah.
That's also like plugged into your synths and other things. So you're also like making that live while you're doing it. Plus, you have other songs that you do. I've seen you perform like recently at Las Rosas. Shout out Las Rosas.
Las Rosas, that's the spot right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, yo, straight up, Las Rosas is the spot right now.
Dude, they had the Love Belows there. Love the Love Below. Shout
Yeah.
out to them too.
Shout out Love Below.
They're doing so well. And they Cry Babies there too. That's the party that I played at actually.
Shout out Panther, Cry
Oh
Baby.
man, Panther's doing so well. I mean, I'm glad that they're doing all those events there because everybody just keeps talking about Las Rosas. Let's go to Las Rosas.
Yeah.
Somebody's playing, whether it's metal or like it's house or whatever. They don't care. They just go.
It's just like, it's live music, and it's like
It's good.
And it's good. Yeah, majority of the time it's like really good music.
Yeah,
even if you're not into it, you'll look at it and you'll be like, damn, this is really well put together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like it's not my thing, but like
It's not my thing, but I see it. It's like shit. So how'd you start with the music, man?
Well, it's interesting. Like I started as a bass player when I was 15. Yeah, I got my bass for my birthday so I could start playing with my band, and I actually did post-hardcore, believe it or not.
Post-hardcore.
Yeah,
What's post-hardcore?
like post-hardcore metal.
So you're like deep into like some like, what was that, like Metallica type shit, or
More like Under Oath and A Day to Remember.
no, none of that.
More like A Day to Remember, like August Burns Red, stuff like that. Very like math rock. It's really niche.
It's super neat.
It's really niche, yeah. But damn, we loved it.
And you went hard for that for a minute.
Yeah, I didn't know. I got my bass and I learned like how to tune it, you know, and I learned how to like oh, that's the A string. I didn't know anything, and the people around me they were like doing solos, like, oh hey man, maybe you could play the bass like this. So I was very like intimidated, and I had to catch up.
What age did you start? What age did you start?
15.
15.
Yeah.
So 15, you started with the bass.
Yeah. And I kept doing like I kept trying to like join different bands, you know, trying to get on that route. I learned some music in Venezuela, then I came back, and I tried to do a band here. It didn't work out, and I was thinking.
So you were learning in Venezuela?
At some point, for a year. For a year, I was there. I got a little bit of training, not really that much. But I started doing one of the classes was band practice. So you had to get together with some friends and you had to do a band, and it was for credit.
All right.
And I was like, hey, I have some songs written, and they're like, let's do all your songs.
That's what's up.
I'm like, all right, I could probably do this. And then when I got here, friends were telling me like, oh, we could produce and stuff like that, and I honestly didn't want to do electronic music.
Oh, why?
I was like I respected it, but I'm like, I don't know if it's for me because I wanted to do band, you know? But then I got frustrated of like being a bassist that can't find a good band.
Yeah.
Or people that are committed. So at some point I was like, fine, maybe I'll try like some of this.
EDM.
Some of this. Yeah. I mean, I would say more like I honestly liked chill music first.
Okay.
Like EDM I liked when I was like way younger in high school, but what really got me into music was stuff like Muramasa, stuff like Odessa.
Oh, okay.
But then like more obscure stuff like Long Arm and well, Teeps is not that obscure right now. He's doing really well. But like all that Flying Lotus Clan, that's what got me there for sure. So I started making music then, and I started with FL, which
Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops, yeah.
Yeah, for those who don't understand.
Yeah. Oh, well, jargon. Sorry.
For the jargon, yeah. You started with Fruity Loops, and then Fruity Loops is how you started making your particular type of independent music.
Yeah, until I went to Ableton and I thought, oh my God.
So you're stuck on Ableton now?
Oh, I love it.
All right. Shout out
that's
Ableton.
how I do my live sets, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which by the way, yeah, like it's true how you say it. It's kind of like I'm DJing my songs, but I'm just like building them, you know, like drum track, bass track, percussion track, and then solo, and then take out percussion, put a drum track, and then harmony, and then I do another harmony with my keyboard, And it's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
a lot of shit there, dog. He just
Yeah.
said, it's just like you do this.
I
You
do
sound
effects in between.
like a mad scientist in a fucking lab, but in a musical lab and shit.
Sometimes I get bored even with all that stuff going on. I don't even know why.
So you like the challenge of having to like maintain all of those things at the same time, like juggling all those things.
Yeah, because it's like it's like cooking, man.
Mhm.
I swear, it feels like that.
If you were to explain your music to a novice, how would you explain your music to them? What would you say?
I would say it's a fusion of chill electronic music and traditional genres. I would say sometimes I have like tropical sounds,
Okay.
and sometimes I have more like psychedelic. Actually, I have a lot of psychedelic influence in there as well. Because in the end, I just go to whatever sounds good at the moment. I don't really think about like, oh, I want a guitar or I want a synthesizer. No, I just look for a sound that goes with what I'm listening to at the moment. And if it's like on left field, but it sounds good, you know?
I feel you. So you're just trying to ride a vibe, basically.
Yeah, I mean, the more I keep going that way, people are like, "Oh, you have a very unique sound," and I'm like, "Hey, okay, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing then."
That's what's up, bro. So right now, recently, you're gonna drop one of your actually your first ever solo project, right?
Yeah, my longest one at least, because I did have a 3-song EP.
Okay.
That was the first thing I ever released, and I was really proud of it.
So this is your first LP.
Yeah, technically it is an EP still because it's 6 songs.
Oh, okay.
But it's the biggest one I have.
All right.
It was originally 11 songs.
Wow. And
Yeah.
you chopped it down, trimmed it down.
The record label and I.
Okay.
Yeah, we came into an agreement.
Who's your record label, by
It's
the way?
Future Everything. It's a record label that I'm releasing through.
Shout out
they're-
Future label.
Hell yeah, they're all the way in Memphis.
Future Everything
Yeah.
out of Memphis.
Oh man, it's an artist by artists for artists.
All right.
Just like here, you know.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
That's what we're doing. But they're incredible. They had a showcase the other day, and it's crazy good music. The release are very professional.
Yeah.
All the stuff is in pre-order too. So there's even merch that they
Yeah.
do themselves. They take care of everything, man.
That's wonderful, man. That's wonderful that you have a team like that. So how do you guys come together and like figure out which songs you're really committed to having on the EP and whatnot?
Well, I would say that it was all through like very thorough communication. I had to wait for a while. I actually got a response from them to do a go ahead in April, and right now it's October, so it's been a long ride getting there. It went really well in terms of it kind of like hurt me at first that we didn't get 11 songs. I'm not gonna lie, but the ones that they picked, I'm like,
Little
yes,
tears.
I love all of them. I mean, when I came into terms with it, I wanted to have like.
Don't you fear that all
the
your
ones that are
children
out.
though?
What?
Don't you fear that all your children?
Every time. Every
so is it like you're
time.
killing a couple of your babies and shit?
The way I came to terms with it is I can have like special sets and people are like, whoa, I never heard that track before. And you
get
never
it.
will. You have to see my live sets, so you put value in the live sets too, you know?
That's what's up.
Yeah. It's
So
the best way.
So you're recycling it for another purpose.
Oh man, like either that or it's dead and I don't want it to die.
I get
I
it.
want to have it there. Oh, they're also gonna have a compilation EP, and they actually asked me to make a new track, and they were gonna look at the tracks that they have from me from that album. So, you know,
You
like,
never know.
you never know. Like maybe they'll take 2 or 3
Another
or
special.
but they're still getting tracks that I thought they were just not gonna get picked. So I'm excited about that as well.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So like your process of creating your tracks, what is that like? How do you start off?
A lot of the time, I'm just messing around. I'm going through different samples. I'm looking for a good amount of the times I look for very interesting percussion. I like that Brazilian percussion, that samba.
Oh, I love that.
Ah man, they're so complex in rhythm, and sometimes they get like upbeats that you don't hear often in music.
I love upbeats. I think it's all about the upbeats, man.
Yeah, it's all that dancehall. People sometimes people are like, "Wow, your stuff is really chill, but it makes me want to dance." I'm like,
I got you.
I got you. That's what I wanted. It
That's
makes me feel
what
like
I
Mr.
want.
Burns, you know? Excellent.
Excellent. I wanted you dancing.
Yes, dance and chill.
That's like a good medium, happy medium, dance and chill. So you would describe your music as chill electronic mixed with a little bit of sprinkled with a little what?
I would say little psychedelic and a little bit of traditional percussion.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Because I also like hip hop. Honestly, I don't listen to hip hop in itself, but I listen to a lot of hip hop oriented producers, like their stuff.
What do you mean?
Like I listen to I Am Nobody, to Sango, like the people from Soul Action, Sam I Am, other people that are a little more experimental, but you can tell that
But
it's
you
like
just
trip
listen
hop.
to the instrumentals?
Yeah, because sometimes their instrumentals are so inspiring, and I go, wow, they don't even have vocals.
Yeah.
They don't have any of that stuff, and it's taking me somewhere. You know when a song is good when it doesn't really have to tell you something, like literally. If it doesn't have any vocals and it's taking you somewhere, like that guy is doing something to you.
So
Like
it's
that-
just the music is moving you, then the music itself is something that's beyond normal.
Yeah, I would say so. Like it's a thing that when it becomes like an experience that you're like that moment when you're fumbling for your phone
Yeah.
to look who made that song.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't have vocals, it's like, wow, like how are you doing this? You know what I mean?
That's
in
like
the end,
Jay Dilla.
exact. Oh, Jay Dilla's amazing. Yeah, and I listen to some people that are inspired by him. Actually, I would say like No Idea, Limes, Spaskid, that works with a very cool Japanese rapper. Actually, she's
Yeah.
this girl. I forget her name. Sarah Bonito.
So how do you when you go and start, how do you decide, okay, now I want to go psychedelic, or I want to go chill, or I want to go hip hop, or I want to go, what determines how you're going to move forward when you start the track?
It's the groove mostly.
The groove of the beat? Excuse me.
It's like how it's moving. It's how like it's revolving. That's one reason why I like all that samba stuff, because if you like those triangles sometimes have like a so then like when you kind of like start dancing to it, like you kind of like feel like tu pa tu pa tu.
I feel you.
Pa. So then like you can like fill it with whatever you want, and when that's happening, I have like my drums ready.
So the drums are
I
already
hear,
going.
like, tum, 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 pa. Yeah, I mean it can be like it's usually percussion tracks, or I make sometimes like I get home and I'm like, oh man, I have a really cool like progression in my head, and I do the piano first, or there's something first that I do that has a certain like groove that starts coming in my head, and then I start thinking, oh, I could do this drum pattern, and I do the drum pattern, and then I think, oh, but I could change it a little bit, and I could have the other drum pattern, and I just have like 6 or 7 drum patterns like to the song already, so that while I'm doing the rest of the instruments, I can still like have fun by saucing it up and changing the different drum patterns, so it feels like I'm playing and I'm also like creating.
That's dope, man. That's crazy, because it's that whole creativity and like putting it together and like chopping it up. When I'm in that moment, I realize that I'm in that moment, but I don't know, like more or less. I understand how I got there, but I don't know why I got there. Kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I never asked myself that.
You never ask yourself.
I just like,
you
"Ooh,
just
I'm
keep
here.
going.
Cool. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
just like, who I'm here.
Hey, live in the moment, man. Keep going.
I feel you.
Yeah,
I
man.
like that approach. I just try to. I'm so like analytical. I'm trying to look at it and I'm like, damn, this shit is dope as fuck. But how the fuck? Like, why am I here? How did I get here? Like, and I think it's, I don't know. It's just my curiosity, wanting to know how to like bottle that shit up and sauce it up.
I would do that if like when I'm done.
What do you mean? After you're done with the whole thing?
Yeah. When I'm like, all right, like I feel I finished working on the beat for now, and then I hear it again, I'm like, wow, how did I get here? Then I can like start thinking about that, but at the moment I feel like I don't know for how long this music's gonna be here, so I gotta just splurge it as much as I can. Yeah,
That's a good approach, man. I like that.
because you
I
never
like that
know. There's a thing that my friend taught me when we used to like. When I used to be in that metal band, he told me, "Oh, it's really funny that now that we're like all grown up and stuff like that, I listen back to the bands that we used to listen to, and there was one called Bless the Fall. That the production after we heard it again, because like my friend, he's an engineer, like he's a sound engineer, so he heard it and he was like, this quality is terrible."
Mm-hmm.
And we listened to this all the time. And then he kept listening to the songs again, and he's like, oh, the songs are really good. The songs themselves are amazing, but the production was whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what's important. Like those people later on found like better producers.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and like they're still
Sound
going.
engineers.
Exactly, but it was the substance that they had at the time, and you never know like where it's gonna take you, you know? Because in the end, like it could be your sound, and you don't know how different, how that uniqueness takes you somewhere, you know? One thing that still shocks me is sometimes I'm playing a set and I'm thinking, am I like being interesting enough? You know what I mean? Because like I think like I play the set all the time. To me, it's like, you know, I could play a lot more stuff, but I don't want to like mess with the crowd and stuff like that. But it's all overthinking, because then I get out of that, like I get out of the stage and people are like, wow, I've never heard music like that ever. Like I've heard similar stuff, but like your set was very different. And I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, no, in a good way. Like it's really, really, really good. And I'm like, oh. And that happens often.
Yeah. That's
so
good.
that's the kind of stuff that will make people go, oh, we gotta see this guy.
Yeah.
He's like no other, you know?
Yeah. That's what's up, man. So your live sets, how do you perform? How do you practice for them?
Well, I make the sets the same way that I make my music.
Okay.
Like I start jamming out and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Oh, okay. Oh, that's really cool too. Yep. All that stuff. Let me have it. And then I it's just like I try to like ride the wave a little bit longer, because the sets I have to pretty much like build them. I have to do channels and channels of stuff. Like what I've been doing recently, I have 2 channels of drums, like the main drums that have like the strong kick and snare. I have them on a left and a right on a fader.
Yeah.
So that if I want to change to one pattern of drums, I just change to the other. You have one main idea and then it changes to the other main idea, you know, like it changes the flow, but you can still have the same instrumentation on the back, you know? So it sounds like you have 2 drum sets. So it's interesting enough. If you have like one pattern and then it changes to like a different sounding drum set, but it's the same pattern, it's already interesting. So if you have different patterns for 2 different drum sets, you have 2 different feels, so you have a lot of control. And that's just kick and snare, you know? So if you have like 10 patterns on a channel for one drum set and 10 patterns for another channel, you have 20 possibilities. That's without counting all the channels that I do for percussion, all the channels that I do for samples and for solos. And speaking of solos, sometimes I have 3 specifically done that I don't put any sessions or any patterns on, so that I can do the patterns live. I record them live and then I play them. And then like I play a little bit of bass, record it, and then play it.
So your live performance is actually like the process that you go through when you're actually in the studio at your crib or wherever it is that you're making the music.
Pretty much.
Okay. So it's like you're like a transparent musician, basically, like a transparent.
I try to be.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Did you initially start off with that, like, this is where I want to go, or? Well,
yes, I kind of did, but I didn't know how I was gonna get there. And I see it. I see the line of what was missing before. I don't know if you know FKJ, Fresh Kiwi Juice.
No.
He's an amazing producer that does what I do, but like
on the next
I don't want to
level.
say 1,000 times better, but he's my idol on that. Okay, like my life
He's
set
my
came
idol.
from him.
Hey, shout out FKJ.
FKJ is amazing. Okay, so that guy. The reason why I think that his sets are like mine, but on steroids, they're freaking crazy, is because he's a saxophone player, he's a bass player, he's a guitar player.
Oh, so he has
He
a lot
sings.
more instruments.
But he has the actual like the exact same thing that I have, the MPC 40 MK2. He has it too, but he uses loop pedals for his guitar and bass, and he can play his songs live.
Yeah, everything.
What I do is that I do improvised live sets that I improvise like as I go. You know, I build sets I build the song as I go. But this guy plays the actual songs of his album.
Yeah.
And they sound exactly like if you would be
In the
like
studio.
listening to him. Yeah. So that's that's where I want to go.
Yeah.
But right now it's improvising for now, but all it takes is recording it.
I mean, but I think that the improvisation is like it shows so much more creativity.
Oh, I mean, thanks.
You know what I'm saying? Because like you have to come up with, it's like jazz. You're kind of doing it like to me, your music sounds like a chill electronic jazz with a little psychedelic in it. Yeah.
That's what I'm going for. Okay?
That's what your
So-
music sounds like, you know?
Great.
It's like straight it's like chill electronic jazz. It's like jazz music, kind of like Miles Davis shit, but if Miles Davis had the fucking instruments of nowadays, you know,
The samples and the
synths and shit and
oh
like
man,
that.
he will go crazy.
Could you imagine? Sometimes I think about that, like, yo, what would Beethoven be making like with today's fucking equipment? You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god, I can
Would it be
only
a trap
imagine.
producer?
I think he would do like the craziest future bass ever. I swear. Because like the breaks,
Yeah.
he's all about those breaks. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's oof.
Beethoven. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it is that one. Okay. I was
Dun,
like, is
dun,
that
dun,
Bach?
dun.
No, but it's not.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
he
dun,
would be all about those breaks, man.
Yeah.
All about those breaks. And arpeggiators, he would be like, whoa, these things can just like make my notes.
That's crazy, dude.
I can put all the voices I want. Wild.
Yeah, you're probably making crazy shit. So, and speaking of like who you said FKJ, you're obviously well like versed with classical music and things like that. Who do you have as like people that you look onto your your Mount Rushmore of people that you look as influences and that you follow in their footsteps or you see them as legends and there's somebody who have influenced you and you feel like yo I want to be like this person.
Well, I would say Fote, definitely. He's this man that works with a record label in New York, Astronautical, amazing record label, really different music. That's one of the things that pushed me into what I'm doing now.
Okay.
That his music is so different and so crisp. It reminds me of music that you will hear in movies,
Okay.
but as in quality.
Yeah.
But the way that he approaches rhythm and the way that he approaches effects is just it's mind-boggling. I honestly don't understand how he does it. Sometimes I try to replicate it. There are times that I'm in my studio and I remember like, oh man, that's right. He does this kind of weird like flutter sound. And I found out how to use it like with delay, but then I found another way to use it with echo. And I was thinking, wow, like this guy probably used so many different ways to make his music. And then I go back to listen to his music and I think, okay, that part I didn't understand. How do you do that? You know, I always find new things that I don't get from him. And then there's also this guy Muramasa that he really nailed groove and simplicity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know more about I like that.
Oh man, I love his work.
Yeah.
He's one of the ones that made me get into like chill music. Like
Yeah.
that's what really got me into. Oh, you can do chill music, but it can also sound like bassy and like punchy. You know.
I love chill music, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? If we have to be completely transparent, to me, chill music is the shiznit.
Yes, man.
And like, I mean, but I really enjoy chill jazz music, chill fucking hip hop music, you know?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, you said Jay Dilla.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like those rhythms are so clutch. You know what I'm saying? Like you could put that music on in the background and just work for hours. You could chill and actually be immersed in the music, like while you're having a party, et cetera, like it throws out that vibe.
Yeah,
which
definitely.
the vibe is like, yo, everything is inclusive, everything is awesome, everything is chill. You know, that's the chill music.
That's
so,
where
like,
you want to be at. Like
yes.
that's where you want to be.
Exactly. Like that's where you want to live your life, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to live your life in that vibe.
Yes.
Because if not, everything else is just gonna just bring it down. You know, everything.
Exactly. And the great thing about chill music is that it kind of pulls you into this vibe. It's almost like somebody like saying, "No, sit down." You know, just like that. It's like, okay, fine, I'm gonna sit down. That's the way. That's how I see my music. Like if people can tell me, "Oh, I feel like I can really get lost in your music," then it's a good song.
Yes, definitely. So you started off here in South Florida. What high school did you go to?
I actually went to Ronald Reagan in Doral.
Okay.
I went for 2 years, and then I have somewhat of a big immigration history, so I had to go back to Venezuela. I had to graduate there. I spent 2 years over there. Well, I was about to get married, and then I didn't. And when I didn't get married, I was thinking, what am I gonna do with my life?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I guess I could try music again. I always did music, but I didn't do it in the sense of like, oh, I'm gonna be a producer. You know?
You never tried to do it as like a livelihood type thing?
I did, but with bands.
With bands, but never as an individual.
Yeah, the thing about it is that I always had it in my head like, oh, if you want something, you gotta like really go get it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to bands, a lot of people are like, oh, I just want to be in a band. I want to have fun. And I'm like, yeah, I want to have fun too. That's why I'm doing it, yeah. but I want to take it seriously too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to do that, or they just can't, you know. So as a producer, that's how I started thinking, oh wow, I can actually do this myself.
Yeah.
Because if I can't find people that don't want it as much as me, then I might as well do it by myself. But throughout the journey, I've been finding people that do want it as much as me, but they're producers themselves. So now it's collaborations.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite thing in the world. I love having somebody in my studio and either they hear me play or whatever, and I ask them like, hey, what do you think, you know? And a lot of times people are there like, oh, I don't know, like you're a producer, you know?
Yeah.
What would I tell you? And I'm like, I don't know. Just tell me what comes first to your head. And they're like, at that part, the beat just goes on for too long. It's a little boring. I'm like, that's all I need.
Yeah.
And I just get to work like, oh, how about that? How about that? Oh, cool. That sounds great. Perfect. And then I show it to other people and they're like, man, you made the song so much better. It's like, oh, yeah, this person came over and they were like, oh, that beat goes on for too long. And I changed it because you never know. It's about first impressions.
It's hard. Okay, this is the thing. You just hit on something that I wanted to touch on.
Oh.
Which is collaborations and transparency and honesty. All right, so like everybody in the scene, everybody who's trying to make music loves their music, thinks their music is the shit because obviously you're not making that kind of music if you don't even believe in your own music. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So everything you're making, you think, oh, my shit's the best, you know, or my shit's awesome. And then you collab with somebody or you're working and then you're just like they're hitting you with their truth because everybody has individual truths as to how they feel about that music or how it makes them feel, how they hear it, or you know, if it's engaging, if it's not engaging, et cetera, et cetera.
And most importantly, how they think it should sound.
How they think it should sound. It's way different from what you think it should sound.
Yeah.
But how does that communication go? Like, how do you try to do communication like that where you're not trying to hurt each other's feelings?
Well,
or you're not trying to, but it's not about not trying to. It's just like, I'm not doing this to hurt your feelings. I'm just telling you my truth.
Yeah. Well, the way that I see it, I feel like there's a certain give and take when it comes to communication. There's people that give more leeway and there's people that want to take more control of the track. It depends on who you want to work with and whether you want to be one person or the other. Whether you want to be the one that because like you could be the guy, you could be it could be a thing that you do half the work, like literally half the work, but you have to literally meet up most of the time when that happens. But when you're just sending tracks back and forth, you don't really know how much the other person is working on the track. They could just be like, oh, yes, you know what? This is it. This is the sound. I'm going to finish it. And then they run with it and they finish it. And if you're not okay with it, at some point you're going to be like, oh, I actually didn't think it was going to go that way. Let's do something else. That's when it starts getting awkward for some people.
Exactly. I'm saying, how do you deal with that awkwardness? Because if you don't go through that awkwardness, bro, no goodness, nothing great's going to come out of that.
Exactly. Yeah. It depends on how okay the other person is when you have that reaction or how okay you're going to be when that happens to you, you know? I feel like a lot of time I don't expect much.
Okay.
I don't expect like oh, it's probably going to sound like this. I don't like doing that because you never know, you know? I just like doing my part and then I send them a little Instagram video like through message and I'm like, you like this? And they're like, yeah. And I send it. That's it. Then they tell me, oh, I did this, or they just send me the track back altogether. And then I tell them like, oh, I liked it or not or whatever. But the collabs that have worked recently for me have been like, oh, a little send back and forth. And then usually I like it, to be quite honest with you, because I listen to the music of the people that I'm going to collab with. Like I have to see like how I think it's gonna go.
All right, so basically you like circumvent that. You go around that by already like doing your research because you already know this producer is in my particular vibe.
And that's why I'm chill about it. Because a lot of people are like, oh, nervous, but I'm usually chill about it because I'm like,
you already did your homework.
I mean, their music is like I'm expecting their sound already. You know, like the Sweaterkins with Lamebot. I expected something, like punchy, like party vibe, you know. I expected it. So if I were to be working with him and I send him something and he sends me like something that's really hype because I know that my music is not that hype, you know. Like let's be honest.
It's chill music.
Yeah, so he sends me like hype music and I could easily be like, oh, really didn't think it was that hype. No, I mean, you heard his music. You know he's hype. So as soon as you come into terms with that, it should be a lot easier to either be the guy that does the leeway or take over knowing that the other guy knows you.
Yeah.
I usually like to also know who the person is, so I know like how open-minded they are about it. Or I just oh, here's like my stuff, you can do whatever you want with it.
How do you
know?
deal with people like when they try to give you when they're asking you for advice, and the bare honest truth, which is what you want to give them, is really harsh.
Advice like what?
Like, oh, how does my music sound? Like, how does this sound, or how does that da da da? And you're just listening to the music, and you're just like in your head, like, man, this is not good at all.
I like to be honest but sensible. I don't want to say this sucks. I want to say this needs to work.
Okay.
Like you need to.
So you're
work
like
on this a little
diplomatic.
more. I like to ask if they're done with the track. Usually that's not a good sign if you hear that. Unless you're not done with the track, you know? Like if it's a really rough draft and they're like, you're not done with the track, and you're like, no. Oh, okay. Like it's no hard feelings, but if you finish the track, it's master and everything, and people ask you, are you done with the track? Usually it's not a good thing. But it's a lot better than, well, that's even worse. You know you're not gonna hear something nice. You're like bracing for impact, you know? But when you hear like it needs work, it's kind of like, all right, let me tell you what I think, you know? And then I, like, for example, I had this friend of mine from work that she asked me for some feedback on her tracks, and I told her, it needs work. I don't hear you enunciating. Whoever's doing the mixing for your voice, like, you need to hear a little bit more, talk to them. I do the mixing for my voice. Well, you're missing some stuff. You need to look at it again. Maybe the writing, you gotta look at it more. In the end, it's all about like going gingerly about it, you know? Because in the end, like if it were me, I would understand. But I like criticism because like if not, like where do you go? You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
You need to hear it. But I see it in the sense that like, okay, if I were me, I would want to hear it, but I wouldn't want to hear it like in the
harshly.
way that, like, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so hard, bro, because like I'm off like how do I put it? When I'm talking to people, I genuinely want to be very truthful and authentic. You know, I'm telling them stuff, and it's hard for me to be so gingerly when it's like, you know, when it's like, man, this really needs a lot of work, because I'm trying to convey the fact that it's not only that, because I don't want people to be like, you know what I mean? Like when people are have been treated too kindly their whole life.
Oh, and you don't want to be that guy.
And I don't want to be that guy, because it's like, I'm not helping you in any way, shape, or form if I'm just like putting sugar on everything that I'm telling you.
I'd rather be that guy.
You'd rather be the sugar guy?
I'd rather be that guy. Not the shitty guy.
No, not the shitty guy. I'm sugar guy.
Oh, no. I don't want to be the sugar guy.
Oh, okay, so you don't want to be the sugar guy.
I'd rather be like, hey.
Yeah.
I'm going to very nicely tell you that this needs work. Like, it's not that good, you know?
It's not that good, yeah. How do you say it's not that good in a good way, in a nice way is what I'm asking you. Besides this needs work.
Dude, it's all about, it's really funny that art class, this kind of stuff, that's where you learn that kind of stuff.
At art class.
You got to criticize like your peers' work.
Yeah.
And you can't say, that sucks. You got to say, oh, I like this, but this needs work. So you got to mention what you like about it, and then mention what you don't like about it. So that they're like, oh, I'm not completely wasting my time, right? Yeah.
Okay. So we're learning something here. You first have to give them a spoon of sugar, and then you give them the medicine.
Yeah. Because so they're like, oh, that hurt, but like, at least I have this. Like, yeah, keep that.
Hold to this.
But work on that other stuff.
But really pay attention to the other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of times when I almost don't like the whole thing. Yeah. I go with, I see what you're going for. Yeah. Which usually is a really good, nice thing to hear, because you don't want a situation like The Room, for example. Mm-hmm. With The Room, like when that movie came out, people were laughing at it, and it was supposed to be a dramatic romance. Yeah. And people were straight up like bursting in laughter, like crying of laughter, you know? And as an artist, you're like, that is the opposite of what I wanted, you know? So as long as that's not happening, a lot of people see it like, oh, okay. Like, at least when you hear something that you really don't like, I usually go like, I see what you're going for. And like, that's a good thing. But then that's when I go,
With but all this other shit's really whack.
yeah, I wouldn't say why.
You wouldn't say whack, but you would be like, it really needs a lot of work here.
It has to be
here.
constructive. Like, it has to be constructive criticism, because it's not. If not, you're really not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how sensible you want to be, if the end you're like, it's just not that good. Like,
All right, so like that being said, you're gonna have a drop soon, which is dropping October 4th, right? This will probably be out after that.
Yeah.
How do you are you anticipating like numbers and anything like that, or are you just anticipating the fact that you're dropping your longest EP? Are you focused on that?
I'm mostly focused on what comes out of it, like in place, but mostly what the producers that I'm working with think about it.
Okay.
Mostly because since I love collab so much and they want to do remixes and stuff like that, like that's fun. You know?
Yeah.
So I want to be able for them to hear it and see if they get inspired by my music. Because in the end, that's what I'm looking for. Later on, like, plays are going to come. Because I'm going to play that album live and stuff like that. And yes, I'm anticipating that. Obviously, like, hopefully everybody everywhere hears it. But like the first step that I'm looking at is seeing like what people think about it. Because it's a record that's supposed to take you somewhere. It's supposed to start as a dream. The first track is called Hypnagogic. It's an intro. And the meaning of that, when you're in a hypnagogic state, it's when you're aware that you're falling asleep.
Yeah.
That feeling that like you start getting really heavy and like really daisy.
Yeah.
You can almost feel like you're getting there. You're falling asleep yourself and you're aware of it. That's the state. And it symbolizes that you're being taken into this like realm. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So every single track is supposed to like engulf you, you know?
That's what's up, dog. That's a really crazy ass way to put your album together and like drop it.
Thanks,
love
man.
that. I love that. That's dope. So I'm like, and I mean that in a good way. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Love that. I love crazy shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lover of weird, crazy shit.
Yeah,
so
man.
now you're dropping your album and you're laying yourself bare, right, to criticism and all of that. Can you speak as to how does that feel? Being like, okay, here I am, wrestler, because you spoke as to like you want other producers to speak on about the music and how it made them feel, et cetera, et cetera. You're like anticipating, obviously as a like any other human, something good, positive, but you never know what comes your way.
Indeed.
You know, so like how do you deal with that?
Well, that reminds me that I had my former bandmate, like we still hang out to this day. I showed them that project, and there was one track that I thought he was gonna love that he didn't love because it was a little too progressive for him. And he said, "Look, I see what you're doing, but I just don't. It doesn't take me to that." And that he's the only person that has told me that from that track. Every other person, like, it hits it like exactly where I think it's gonna hit them. I just took it as, why? why it's not happening to you? Like, I need to know. You know? Oh, it's just.
So you become very inquisitive.
Oh yeah. Oh man, totally. I need to know. Like, I need to know what people think. Even like it's already out there. I'm not gonna take it off.
Yeah.
Like when it comes out, if people don't like it.
Yeah.
But especially because I'm confident that they will.
Yeah.
But I need to know why you like it. I need to know why you don't like it. It's just a thing like it's like having a conversation like with somebody. Like, oh, what do you think of my ideas? You know? Like that's what my head sounds like. What do you think?
What do you think about my ideas? Okay.
Yeah. In the end, that's what it is. Like when you're doing a business proposal or
music,
or music, or you're talking about like politics, or you're talking about ethics or whatever. Like in the end, you want people to hear you and to give you feedback on what you think
about their ideas,
about your ideas.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, my ideas and your ideas are this, you know? And that's how it's like a system, you know? Some people are like, oh, your idea is super cool. Like so cool that I want to use it to make my own idea. Like to make a remix. Great. Awesome. That reminds me that Funk de la Cueva wants to remix some songs from there. So that's coming.
Funk de la Cueva?
Yeah.
What's up?
From the Sun Electronica. doing amazing out there.
That's what's up, dog.
Yeah. I'm also looking forward to the little party that I've been running with Son Jamal. Secret living
The
room.
secret living room.
Yeah. It's so exciting.
What's that like?
It's extremely fun. We put it together. We put it together like he gets he pretty much at the moment he's getting the people that play, and I do most of the social media and marketing, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And then the day off we set everything up and we make it happen, 30 helps us with a Twitch account. With the streaming.
30.
Yeah. With the Twitch account and the recording all together. So everything that you see on YouTube, we have a YouTube channel for that. Everything that you see there is because of him,
So what's the name of the YouTube channel?
Secret Living Room.
Secret Living Room.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
is Secret Living Room.
Yeah. Everything is Secret Living Room. And we had Sonia Moss band, Butterfly Snapple. We also had Lanebot. We've had Lotlos. We have someone new, which is a dope girl DJ. She's amazing.
How come there's not so many females in the like producing world, man?
I don't know. To be quite honest with you, I can't fathom it.
Yeah.
Because I refuse to believe that girls just want to like listen to like what society tells them and just do whatever it is that like nursing or whatever.
Yeah.
Like stereotypical stuff. I refuse to believe that because
Yeah.
like we're not on that age right now. Like,
Yeah, but I
you
mean,
can see it. So I don't know why music doesn't take it. There's more women than men in
there
the
should
world.
be. I mean, and they're very creative. Females are extremely like versatile and creative. So like
already, without like guys a lot of times have to fish for it, but women just.
It's just naturally part of their like whole.
Yeah. So to be honest with you, I don't know why. I think
I asked that question because, like, we go to the shows. I look at the crowd, and when I'm looking at the crowd, it's like, bro, I'll say 85 to like 90% males, like, and it's just like I'm like I love the genre, but it's like why is this not appealing to, or why are females not making any electronic dance music or things like that? You see the biggest DJs in the world, they're all like dudes.
Yeah, I honestly don't get it. I think it's I think times are changing now, but it's very slow. It's taking a while. Like I almost feel impatient about it.
Yeah.
Really. Because they're like Toki Monster.
Yeah.
There should be like hundreds of
Exactly.
Toki Monsters.
Exactly.
It should be like that.
Exactly.
But I honestly don't know why we're not.
Well, let's try to set out and change that shit, bro. I don't know. Maybe there should be like a coalition for like to bring females into the industry.
Yeah, like
into the realm.
Something to inspire them. There has to be something. I know that we are having a lot of good events out there to put out the female DJ presence.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, like you having them on the secret living room and shit like that.
Oh, well, I try, man. I try. She's one of the few that I've met. I know that Josh's girlfriend, she DJs as well. Like I should have her on secret living room.
Yeah,
because I heard her. She's dope.
DJ Kramer.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Dude, thanks.
You know what I'm saying?
Kramer.
Yo, for sure. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
This is like local people, so we're trying to like build the local community scene, the whole local music scene. Yeah. Gotta help each other out. You know what I'm saying?
And it's funny because like it's all in the moment. Like right now we're doing it. Like every time we collab and something comes out, doing it. Every time you see somebody like every time you see a crew playing, doing it.
Exactly.
You're like not that you don't have to go and see somebody at the Airlines Arena.
Yeah.
It's not like that, but most of the time, if you're trying to support your local artists, you'll see that the culture and the people in it will flourish. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In the end, like society goes where the artist goes, because art is the representation of how the culture is going at the moment.
For sure. I totally believe that, dog. So if people want to get in contact with you, if they want to like reach out to you and try to help or try to do any collabs or anything like that, how do they get in contact with you?
Well, they can definitely email me. My email is on my Instagram at Golden Flora Music. I have a text option there as well. I use Instagram all the time.
So IG is like your number one source.
Definitely. I love it because you can easily like send a video to somebody. Boom. Do you like that? Do you like that track? Yeah, send it. Oh, do you like this part for the guitar? Send it. It's super quick.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do small previews. You can do previews that like stay in the chat or not. You know what I mean? It's very versatile and it's immediate.
Okay.
And you can do a video that you send to somebody and you're like, oh, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I put it on my story and you put that on your story. And you can highlight your story so that it stays on your on your profile.
Yo,
People can just look at it.
hashtag, this is not an ad.
It's not an ad, but it's amazing. Okay, like I enjoy it
just
too much.
shoot a DM at Golden Flora Music. Any
Do it.
underscores, nothing. It's all together.
All together.
At Golden Flora Music. Yo, straight up, man. Thank you for coming on to the podcast.
Of course, man. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thanks for
talking to
having
us
me.
about your music. I hope your release and your drop is successful.
Thank you.
You know, and I hope you nothing but success. I see you always putting in work whenever you're on stage, wherever you're at throughout the city. And I hope that you get the opportunity to play outside of the city and, you know.
Oh, that's the dream, man. That's the dream. I have been playing outside of the city a couple of times, but hopefully one day I'll be able to join my people at Memphis.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Next levels.
Next levels, man. And also one thing to look out for. Ams the Poet, who's the host of Secret Living Room.
Oh, AMS.
Him and I are working on a joint project. It's gonna be a 2-part EP project. We're gonna release one part through Strange Media and another one through TY Taste, which is Son Jamal's label. That kid's going places too. So we're all just collaborating with each other right here, and it's gonna be a Mumoton and rap.
Mumoton
project.
and rap.
Yeah,
I love Mumoton.
it's gonna
Dope
be
music.
exciting.
That's what's up, dog.
I think you'll like it. I swear.
Yeah, that's
It's
what's up.
super danceable.
Yeah, that's where it's at, man. Danceable music and that's like makes you move and chill.
Yeah. No, and it still has his electronic psychedelic stuff in there. So I think you'll like that flavor. Honestly.
For sure, dog. For sure. I'm looking forward to that as well. Well, thank you again, homie. I hope you nothing but the best. Till the next time, if you guys enjoy the podcast, feel free to share it with your friends. If you hate the podcast, feel free to share it with your enemies. But just fucking share this motherfucker.
Share that shit.
That's all it is, bro. Peace. All right, y'all heard it there first. I want to thank Jesus, a.k.a. Golden Flora, for coming on to the show and talking to us about his life, about how he puts things together, how he collabs with the other artists and DJs and musicians here in South Florida to make the scene pop and to coalesce it. Thank you so much for you guys for listening. If you have any suggestions or anything along that nature, DM me at Que Bola Podcast. On IG, that's at Que Bola Podcast. If you want to get in contact with Jesus, with Golden Flora, it's at Golden Flora Music. Thank you so much once again. Hasta la próxima. Cógelo con Teguerisi. Peace.